wearing the lotion.
The lotion. Wow. It's a bunch of holes. These are the Wolverine claws that I grew up with. They're pretty cool, but a lot of people have already made them before. But these are the newest Wolverine claws from the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie, where Deadpool finds a dead Wolverine, takes his claws, straps him onto his forearm, and straight kills like 10 people. And the best part about these is that they've never been made before. Late in my Hacksmith Industries internship, I had the realization that I had the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make these one-of-one claws for my childhood hero. And he's like the king of Wolverine claws on YouTube. This is a cool once-in-a-lifetime full-circle moment for me. But I may have made my realization too late. I only had one more week in Canada before I got shipped off to America for school. I asked my friend Jacob, a full-time engineer at Hacksmith, what I should do. He was on board with helping me complete these claws in just under a week. With Jacob on my team in just under a week, I knew I had to get started. So I started to prototype my first idea. Okay, so this is the design we got that we're gonna print right now. So this is a manifold here, and the claws slide on that chuck right there. So this is retracted, and then the air is going to shoot it out, and that's extended right there. Some of the problems I have with this right now, which I'm going to work on, is I don't like the placement of the claws. I think they can be lower. I'm not super sure if past Nicholas explained this correctly, so I'm going to give it another shot. And this is just a blanket I found in my room, so hopefully this works. But imagine two hoses that are spitting out air at high pressure, like 150 psi.
4 times the amount of air pressure that's in like a bicycle tire, for example. So pretty high, but not like dangerously high or anything like that. We take a small piece of aluminum such that we can stick the hose in it, and it redirects the air from going up into going out. Right, so we take 2 of those, we fit them together facing each other, and in the middle of those you stick 2 steel rods at a fixed distance, right? And then we can put linear bearings on those rods. We can put something to connect those linear bearings. So now we have basically a track and something in the middle that can slide. We can control the position of the centerpiece based on which aluminum block, which we'll call a manifold, that we decide to push air out of. So we can attach Wolverine claws to the centerpiece, and then we have what I was showing earlier, which is extended and retractable Wolverine claws.
So that's the basic idea. That's what I was trying to show. I wasn't explaining it correctly because I was in a rush, but hopefully makes it work. So I'm gonna put this on the printer, have it printed out, and we're gonna come back later to see how this turned out. As the intern, I can't use the dangerous machines when no one's around, which is pretty often on the weekends. So my first prototype was printing. I decided to start machining some pieces that I thought I might need. On a regular project, I would just buy the pieces I need, but the metal shop is closed on the weekend, and all I had was this huge piece of aluminum. So I spent the day making this huge piece into a much smaller piece. And 3 hours later, that's pretty much all I did. And then James and Ben left, so I had to go. After machining for hours upon hours on Saturday, I got to work on Sunday early so I could start prepping the shin guard I was going to use to attach the mechanism to my arm. I know it's a little loud, but basically I have this Deadpool costume and we have this red. So I'm going to see if they match. It's not perfect, but yeah. Everything up to this point was going perfectly, but that night I ran into my first big problem. Alright, so I'm back at the house now, and it's a little bit later. I was literally at Home Depot, and I was taking these blocks that I spent 3 hours cutting on my wrist, and I was like, these are too small. After I designed and printed the first prototype as a proof of concept, I knew I was going to want to lower the claws down to make the entire thing just look a lot more clean and a lot more flush. But what I didn't consider was that I was going to have to make the aluminum manifolds much larger than I currently had them in order to make space for the claws. So basically, I wasted the entire day cutting these blocks out of aluminum. I cut them too small for what I'd eventually need. So after realizing my mistake, I immediately finalized the design and made sure everything was going to work in the CAD so I didn't run into any more design problems. The first thing I did was lower the claws so it's a little less bulky, and then I added the bones to make it look like Deadpool's were Wolverine claws. Okay, hope you guys can see this. I'm not a YouTuber. Let's put that in perspective real quick. I'm barely an engineer. Why am I so close? Definitely not a YouTuber, bro. It's 11:15, it's a little later. I just finished putting James's bones onto the first Wolverine design. So it looks super dope. I got super juiced. I was a little bogged down by the amount of progress I'm making up to this point. But when I saw this in the model, I was like, holy, it looks pretty similar. Only thing is, it is pretty wide. Didn't really think about that, but can't go back now, it's already done. The next thing I have to do in the process is actually take out the part of the STL file that actually interferes with the actual mechanism, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna do that. I don't know how to do that, I'm gonna figure it out, but yeah. Anyway, I'll see you in a second. On Monday morning, I printed the bones out and started to drill and tap the linear rods so that I could put screws in them. Work is pretty peaceful in the morning before everybody gets here, so feel free to enjoy the sounds of the shop. After that was done, I printed out some reference drawings so I could cut, drill, and tap the aluminum manifolds that were going to hold pretty much everything in place. So I just finished the first manifold and I have an hour or so to get the rest of the 3 done. So yeah, all right. All right, so it's 8:30, I'm about to get out of here, but I just tapped the manifolds with 1/8" MPT. As you can see right there, this goes into the tube and then allows the tube to connect directly to the manifold right there, and that's all pretty. And then I didn't know if this was gonna work. I was banking on it working because if it didn't work, I was actually screwed. I tapped a pipe to have the same threads as the threads in here. I mean, it fits. And I'm not completely sure if the claws are gonna fit like I thought they were gonna fit. So I'm not sure how it's gonna work, but that's a problem for tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. So that work actually took 2 whole days. Wednesday is actually a very exciting day for me because Jacob's actually cutting us some Wolverine claws. Hello, Jacob.
Hello.
What are you up to?
I'm cutting you some parts.
I appreciate that.
Like a loser.
Ooh, that looks like gold.
It's like copper. So you want to turn on the exhaust?
I don't know how to do that. This right here, whoop.
Ready?
Yeah, dude. They are hot. Ooh! Wow. Thanks, Jacob. That was it. Okay, perfect. These are the 2 manifolds we have already, right? And then these are the linear rods that connect the 2, right? And then we also have these linear bearings that we got in the mail today, right? Ooh. I cut this piece of stainless steel. These should connect, they should slide across these manifolds. Let me show you. So that's basically what we're trying to make. Wow, it looks super cool. This is the first time I'm really seeing it together. And like, that looks dope. By Wednesday, I was so tired that I didn't have the energy to write down my to-do list for the next day. I just grabbed the closest marker and started writing my to-do list on my arms. But it was okay, because I knew whether I got the claws done or not, it was going to be over in 2 days. By Thursday morning, I was exhausted. It had been days of getting to work 2 hours early to work on the claws. And then I still had my internship duties from 9 to 5. And then working on the claws again until 8, 9, and sometimes 10 p.m. But being 1 day out, I still didn't have a working prototype. So today was a big day. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. The goal of today is to attach everything together. As you can tell, it's super early. I look like I just crawled out of bed because I literally actually just did that. Yeah, let's see what happens after I do these rods. Yesterday, I figured out that I made the rods too small, so I had to buy new ones and re-drill them and re-tap them. So that's what I did first. After that, I re-threaded a pipe so that it would fit in the manifold because the other one wasn't straight. Let's see if she fits. Pause. Nice. And then it was time for one of the most time-consuming parts of this process. Okay. Looking at this guy here, we're gonna make this into our manifold. There's a couple marks there for where we need to drill. We have all these drill bits we we have to use to make it happen. So basically, it's just a bunch of holes. So let's get drilling, I guess. With this final piece, I was almost done. I could finally start to believe that I was going to get to show this project to my childhood hero. Behind this moment is a younger Nicholas, bright-eyed and in awe of what we're about to accomplish.
So, can we try it?
Oh yeah.
Now, all I had to do was give this final piece to Jacob to weld the claws, bearings, and slider piece together. And then tomorrow, spend the time before work screwing everything together and attach the pneumatic tubing. All that with 0 days to spare. But then, Jacob had some news.
It
was my bad for not telling you.
This is so obvious. Not thinking about that. It's ridiculous. So we have 1 day left. It's the day before the last day. and we don't have a functioning prototype. My recommendation was to 3D print the remaining part, the part that actually slides, and the claws. That way, at least we have something to show, because if we can't get it done in time, and we don't do this, then like
We're cooked.
Yeah, we're cooked.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's Thursday night, and I want it to be done by Thursday. We don't have a working prototype. We have 1 day left. After work, James leaves. I don't get to show him what I've done, and I am gone next week. So I spent 2 hours this morning working on that piece. We might not get this done, but wake up tomorrow, try our best, and lock in, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please be done, please be done, please be done. Oh my God, are they? We could work with this. Oh my God. I could actually work with this one. This one really, this is not perfect outcome, but it's also not the worst outcome. On my last day, Jacob convinced my manager Bogdan to let me spend some time on the claws. During work, I 3D printed and painted so many more parts and added them to the gauntlet. I was just trying to get it to work. 5 o'clock came and it came fast, and it was crunch time. James was about to go home, and I had no working prototype, and I was never gonna see him ever again. He said that when he was gonna leave for sure, he'd stop by for a final goodbye. So Jacob and I worked till then.
You don't need glue. Stop.
All the way. Okay.
Actually, it looks really cool. Held together by hopes and hot glue.
You have the kit tube? Cut it.
Duh.
I don't know how this goes.
It's supposed to fit, but it doesn't. So feel free to like. Are there pliers or snips? Let me see. I'm gonna break this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask for the next one though. The mechanical and the aesthetic pieces of the claws were beginning to come together, but the claws still couldn't move on their own. Just as I started working on the air system, we had a visitor.
Ooh. James.
That's per se.
Is sick?
Bones. And those bones?
These are yours. This is your right hand, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is your right hand. So I have not thought this through because I was in a rush. I guess I'm just talking myself through it. I almost gave up, and I had to start explaining to James how it was supposed to work instead of actually demonstrating it. But then Jacob, on his revenge tour, came up with a great idea.
Yeah. So what's the... Yeah, let's see if it works.
Nice.
That's dope.
I said I'd fist bump you, but it's a bit after a 1 week prototype.
We were talking yesterday about like worst case scenario, what can we show you?
I've seen Jacob every day. I sleep, I go to bed, and I see Jacob. And I wake up and I see Jacob.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, with an O-ring this would go even better.
Wow. I'm happy. Thank you for recording.
Yeah, no worries. Alright.
How long did you work on that?
I don't know, bro. Remember last
No, like
Tuesday?
when did you start?
Last Tuesday we talked about it. I started it on Friday after I talked to you.
Damn, so 1 week.
1 week. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Let's do it. I gotta get out of here, bro. It's 5:52. I actually don't work here anymore. Wow. Okay.